zone that they break down, and Gallagher was able to score all those 30-goal seasons, those two or three 30-goal seasons that he had.
I think he had two, but he was on pace for three. It was just injury slash COVID that cut that off. But he maybe even have been on pace for four, like the last
Mm,
two seasons. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I can't say I was expecting that though. I mean, Gallagher is, I think, everyone like one of everyone's favorite players, right? He's impossible to dislike out there
Of
on the
course.
ice. My answer is actually going to be Jake Evans. I think that Jake Evans is going to start the season in that third line center position. And I think it's the most likely outcome. I don't think it's going to be Ryan Paling. And they're definitely not putting Jonathan Drouin back in a center spot, right? We know
Oh
that.
no, please
Thank
no.
goodness no. But I'm gonna say Jake Evans because he's had some real playmaking flashes of like even in this very preseason game that we're talking about, the second one here, in the first period, he had a lovely uh pass to Jean-Sebastien D in the first period, and it was on the power play, it was off the rush, and it was a really good opportunity that he created. And like again, the same Rafael Harvey Pinard goal that we were talking about earlier, the tic-tac-toe,
That
there
beauty
was
pass.
it was a gorgeous pass from Jake Evans. So he definitely has some like offensive skills that haven't had the ability to really shine in the role that he's played previously, which has been fourth line shutdown minutes plus penalty kill. Like
Hmm.
I mean, he had some flashes, right? Of like, I know he had that one like PK goal against the Edmonton Oilers when he put the puck around Darnell Nurse's skate and then while falling put it in the top corner. Like he has those like flashes of skill. And I remember one game late last regular season, I want to say, he had a game where I think he had two assists in the first period, both of which were like seeing eye passes of just brilliant playmaking. I think if he were given wingers like Brendan Gallagher and Mike Hoffman. I mean, we can say what we want about Mike Hoffman and his play at 5-on-5, but he's always going to be a goal scoring threat. Like his shot's good enough that he's always going to be a threat. And having someone like Jake Evans who can be a really good playmaker, I think will be fun to see. Again, he might just be a steady like third line center who just eats shutdown minutes and doesn't produce offensively, but I really think there's a bit of a ceiling there of like I don't know, like 13 goals and 20 assists or something like, but like more than what most fans might expect. And I think just through his work ethic, he might like really get there. And I'd really want to see that this season.
Yeah, when I think of Evans, I always think of one specific game last year, which was a game that Montreal clinched their playoff spot against Edmonton. And it was Byron Evans Lekanen line, which has been
I
together
think
for
I
a bit.
think I think that's the game I was talking about with his two
Hmm.
assists.
Yeah, each of them scored one goal each. I
Yeah.
remember it was great because Lekanen scored a goal and then it was offside, but then he scored like 5 minutes later anyway.
Yeah.
And Edmonton just couldn't stop this third line of Byron Evans and Lekanen, and he has that like almost game breaking ability. Like they took over that game.
They
They were
did.
the number one line for Montreal. They stopped Edmonton and they dragged Montreal into the playoffs that
And
night.
there was also a game, it may have been that one, where Evans shadowed Connor McDavid all night long. McDavid did
Yeah.
not score a single point, and it was beautiful, right? Like we talk about like the no replacements and having to acquire one, but like Jake Evans isn't there yet at like the no level of like elite shutdown center. But
There's not many out there. He's
exactly,
right near the top. Yeah.
but Evans could develop into a Dano. Like Dano is also a later bloomer, like not quite as late as Jake Evans, but like Dano is a first round pick who Chicago gave up on basically because like he wasn't putting up points in the AHL. He wasn't playing much with the Blackhawks, and then he arrives in Montreal and is handed a first line center position, and
Yeah.
he did very well defensively, right? And I think Jake Evans is going to be a really fun and underrated player to follow this season. And yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of a panel of just two of us, which was a little bit foreign. Also, my debut as a host. We'll see if Patrick approves. But yeah, so I guess I'll thank everyone that contributed to this episode in Joshua Rosa with his, as always, wonderful This Day in Habs History segment, and for his insight for everything, but especially for the game that he went to watch between the Steelheads and the Kitchener Rangers. And another thank you for Patrick Lorty and Anthony DeMarco for the Around the NHL segment, and to Patrick Lorty for the Half Splits. And then another thank you to Chanelli Marie for the voiceovers, and to Shane Ivers for all the music that you hear in this podcast. Thank you very much, and be sure to tune in next week when we will discuss more preseason. And maybe Patrick and I are also going to head to some QMJHL games between the Gatineau Olympique and the Blainville-Boisbriand Armada. And as Joshua so kindly reminded me, I of course have to also say thank you to my normal Prospects Heroes partner in Scott Cowan, who gave us a nice little segment in this episode as well. So thank you to everyone, and I hope that you enjoyed the show.